and then drove the ball, understanding and recognizing that Boban was on a smaller guy, ended up kicking it out to his guy, Green, and he just cashed out.
14-0 in his career against the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, you see those 18 points per game, you might go, that's not the most impressive stat, but if you look at what he's done this season, averaging 30 against Philadelphia, now you add 45 to that, so that number escalates a little bit more, and you realize, oh, there's something there for him.
And you got to remember, a lot of those games were in San Antonio, too, so he was playing with Tim Duncan and some other guys that could score, so he didn't need to score as many. Now in Toronto, there's no Tim Duncan. I'm going to score a little bit more against Philly.
Yeah, just playing with 3 other Hall of Famers. I mean, just putting that out there, one of the winningest franchise ever. But to go out there and still, be close to 50% field goal and 38 from 3, that's just amazing to watch, man. And still being able to insert yourself, special player, man.
They were talking with Vince Carter at 50 in 2001. That was against us when I was in Philadelphia as a GM. Allen got 50. Vince got 50 the next game. Then Allen came back, got 50 again the next game. So that was something that I'd never seen before.
High power scoring right there.
Great playoff series. So we're still waiting to hear from Kawhi Leonard, the star of the night. And look, let's go to his interview with Raz Gold.
I think he figured he already talked. He answered
one question, right? But how funny was that to see him? Because that's typically him, right? He's like, I had a great game, new playoff career high. So what? One question, right?
And he probably figured I already talked. I ain't got to talk again, do it?
Yeah, I said 2 words. I had 45, 12 rebounds, whatever. Hey man, come on! I did it all tonight.
Is he still in the building? It's like Elvis.
So one of the things that's a storyline that's kind of got swept away with Toronto's success, but looking to the future, Kawhi Leonard, where's he going to play next year? And how much of Toronto's success weighs in on that? For instance, if they make it to the finals, if they win a championship, because they're real contenders, what does that do for his chances to stay north of the border?
Well, I like the fact that he really hasn't talked about it. Durant has talked about it. Kyrie has talked about it. So Kawhi hasn't talked about it. He's just playing basketball and out there performing. For Toronto, I think the further they go, the better chance they have. I think they've created a great environment for him. But I think when the season's over, regardless of what they do, he's going to make the best decision for him. And he's going to wait and see what do the Clippers do, what do other teams do. But I don't discount Toronto, him staying there, because I think Masai and them have put a good situation there. And playing in the East is a little easier than playing in the West.
Yeah, I think they did a remarkable job of, assembling talent and putting them in a position where, they can compete, year after year. And with the development of Siakam, that's super intriguing. However, I do feel that he will not have a future as a Toronto Raptor.
Well, let's listen in to Kawhi Leonard now.
For Kawhi, please. Bruce?
Kawhi, Bruce Arthur from the Toronto Star. How comfortable are you right now offensively and defensively, and how does it compare to how you've kind of felt the whole year?
Pretty much feel the same as you had no idea coming down the stretch at the end of the season. And, I keep saying this, we just did a good job of putting a plan together to make sure that I'll be healthy at this point. But, I have no complaints right now.
Dave?
Kawhi, with 45 points tonight, you just became the second Raptor in team history to score 40-plus in a playoff game, joining Vince. In your time in Toronto and seeing the way the fans revere Vince, or maybe if you have any recollection of him growing up, what does that accomplishment mean for you?
It's great. It's an individual success, and it just shows how much hard work I put in, from year one to now. But if you know me, I'm more of a guy that's looking for our team success, reaching the ultimate goal for my team, and this is what happens, I guess, if you just stay focused and you want your team to win. But that's all I'm focused on, is winning, and came out with a good game tonight, making shots.
Michael at the back, and
Kawhi, Michael Grange from Sportsnet. Do you feel like you're at the level physically and in terms of your skill level and how you're playing that you were the last time you were in the playoffs in 2017 before you hurt your ankle? the numbers sort of say you're approaching that. Does it feel like that?
No, I mean, it's a totally different situation. I'm in a different environment. I'm just focused on the now. I don't think that way. I'm just thinking about the next game. And, tomorrow this is going to be erased. And starting back from scratch, 0-0. And we're going to have to try to come out and win game 2.
Josh?
Josh
Where'd you
Lindbergh,
rank?
TSN. Kawhi, when you guys have 2 players that are going offensively like you and Pascal were specifically in that first quarter, how much are you guys feeding off of each other out there?
We really taking our pride on defense, and I feel like it's letting our offense, come to play. And when you're so focused on defense, you just play on the offensive end. And I feel like that's been our success so far. Once again, we held a playoff team to under 100 points, and that's hard to do in the NBA today, especially the Sixers team with the talent that they have with all the shooters and Embiid, great player in the post. So just feel like our defense has been like the big part of what's going on.
Matthew, standing up and to your right.
Hey, Kawhi, CBC Radio Canada, Matthew Cullen. 2 Raptors in double figures tonight, you and Pascal. Just could you comment on how much you've seen his game grow with respect to you working with him together?
I mean, I said this before, he came out of nowhere. I mean, I seen it in training camp, seeing how skilled he was. I wasn't able to see his transition or, how he got better from his rookie year to last year because I was out. But, I seen it in training camp. He had a high skill level, played very hard, passionate about the game, and he just kept working throughout the season. And, he took those games and approached them every night with the same mindset. And, now you see this. You see what he's doing now, and it's magnified now because it's in the playoffs, and he's doing a great job.
Stephen?
Kawhi, Steve Brotherston, Pro B-Ball Report. Your team's been very good at transition offense all season. How important is pace of play to your offense to getting the team going?
I think, that's what our offense is. We play in transition, and then when we get in half court, we want to play fast, move the ball, just kind of be miscellaneous out there, setting back screens, getting pick and rolls, not knowing, who's going to get the shot. And, like I said before, it's our defense. Once we limit them to one shot, get a rebound, we're off to the races, and we're able to play our game.
Last couple questions. Sirat, down
Sir.
into your... Go ahead.
Sirat Sohi, Yahoo Sports. Kawhi, you came out of the game at around the 3-minute mark. Was there any desire to stay in and try to break your career high?
No, not at all. I was trying to get out the game before I even got to that point. We was up 20 points with probably like 5 minutes left, and I was already looking at the bench trying to get them to come, take me out the game. Like I said, this individual stuff it's not big on me. I mean, big for me to reach these goals. It's great when you do it and you could win, but my focus is every game trying to win the ball game. And, that's why we're playing this game. We're not playing so I could score 50 or get 40 points. We're all on this team and, trying to say Raptors win at the end of the day.
Thank you, everybody.
So Kawhi says it's all about winning. LeBron James with an interesting tweet. Karan, is this tampering? What's happening here?
I thought he was just saying that, it's all about the Laker Nation, and Kobe got 5 right here. I thought.
Did you just go Kobe on LeBron?
It's part of the fraternity. Everybody Lakers, bro.
Is that a clause?
I think that, that's a clause.
Oh, okay.
That's what that is.
I missed that.
So what is he trying to say? Good game?
I just trying to. I can't
think
throw
he just
LeBron
said
out there
that.
with the tampering stuff, man. I'm trying to help.
Quick turnaround for these two teams on Monday, a game you can see on TNT. 8 o'clock start, Philadelphia, Toronto, game 2. And so many things for Philadelphia to try to correct here in this loss. No, it was 13 points, but it felt bigger than that most of the game. Where can they get better, or how do they get better in game 2?
Well, I think it's got to start with defense. They've got to get more intensity with their defense. They got to get more physical. They got to meet Kawhi further out. And when he does drive, help's got to rotate in the right direction. Offensively, they've got to move the basketball. They can't just rely on dribble penetration because they're locked in. But it's correctable. And they got a day off to do it. Now, can they go do it?
It's all about adjustments. You got to throw a ton of activity at him, and I think you won't see him scoring 45 points again in the series because I think it's going to be just an adjustment from the defensive standpoint at him.
Well, it'll certainly be interesting to see if the Philadelphia 76ers make those adjustments in game 2 against the Toronto Raptors. So that's going to do it for now, fellas. We're going to take another quick break here. And, of course, coming up after... Billy, you know, since we have you on the show, we got to show some Duke versus UNC action from this game. Danny Green, national champion from UNC, JJ Redick, got popped a few times, and there's the bloody mouth.
It never goes away.
What's he saying here, Kron?
Look at me, Kenny.
He said it happened twice. I agree with him.
Yeah, let's actually listen to what JJ had to say.
His face ran into his elbow.
JJ, Kate Burnett, TSN. Can you take us through the play that could open your lip, and how is it now?
There was actually 2 plays. That's why I was upset. So I got hit once. My mouth started bleeding. They called a foul. Danny tried to do the same thing again. Hit me a second time, and then it really opened up. Then I just was trying to prevent a basket. I'm not sure why they reviewed it for flagrant. That was one of the softest reviews ever. But I told Kane afterwards. I was like, look, I was upset. My mouth's bleeding. You guys were clearly watching it because you had just called it 2 plays before that. But I told him I apologized for my profanity, and sometimes when you get hit in the face a couple times, you just black out for a second.
Well, JJ said it. Look, you called it 2 plays before that, but you missed it. It's the playoffs. It's intense. Do you agree with him, or you on the other side of this?
No, I don't think it was anything intentional. I think what Karan said. I think he sort of ran into it as he was trying to get under him. So it's unfortunate that it hit him there. But I think as JJ was trying to work his way around, he had his arm up. He didn't push it. He didn't swing it. So I don't think it should have been warranted a foul.
It's always frustrating when, once you see the result and you see yourself bleeding and, you know what I mean, you get that hit and you expect something to be called, whether it's a foul on you or him or whatever. And that's just a frustration play right there, just grabbing Green on the back end.
And we got to point to that time period in the game. 7:21 in the third quarter. JJ Redick, like we said earlier, 0 for 4 from the field in the first half. He was 4 for 4 in the first 4 minutes of that second half. So, again, when we look at Toronto and being organized as a team, they decided we're going to go at him to make him work on the other end.
Yeah, and that's the one thing is we're going to try to take him out of the game and frustrate him a little bit. The Sixers need JJ's offense, and he opens up the whole game for him. He's like the key to the team. And Toronto realized he was getting going, so let's take him down the post, just make him have to work on that end, try to wear him out a little bit.
Yeah, JJ, 6 for 13 from the field. So when you look at the 76ers as a whole, they had 2 guys who had positive shooting nights in JJ Redick and Ben Simmons, and everyone else struggled. So you're right in the sense that they're going to need him to be able to get his shot off.
Yeah, JJ had a very positive shooting night. Ben Simmons had a remarkable field goal percentage display. When you say shooting Ben Simmons, you got to be careful when you throw that out there. But I think that's something that he'll grow into. But right now, he does a remarkable job of getting into the paint. But other guys have to have, good field goal percentage nights from the perimeter. And that's Jimmy Butler and, so many more.
Well, Jimmy Butler just 10 points. How much of that onus is actually on Ben Simmons? When we talked about Kyle Lowry, not shooting the ball well, but had 8 assists to 1 turnover. We look at Ben Simmons, just 3 assists, and we talked a lot about the turnovers that he had in the previous 3 games against Toronto, 8 turnovers a game. So we know that there's some issues with that assist to turnover ratio.
Well, it goes back to what I said earlier: is the floor's got to be spaced, and they've got to move the basketball. I think Jimmy, Ben, Tobias, they spent so many times dribbling the basketball, and when the defense was able to lock in, they've got to make quicker decisions and move the basketball. If it goes into Joel and they double, he's got to throw it out quick, and that's what Joel was talking about. We got to make them pay with the three-point shot, but if they hold the basketball, they don't get those open looks. So they got to move the basketball and move their bodies.
They need flow, they need pace, especially in the half court. You can't just rely on the athletic ability of, Ben Simmons to create that momentum and that wave for you. You got to get in the half court, in which Coach touched on. You got to get Joel Embiid the ball inside where you can do the inside-out game.
Let's hear from Kyle Lowry now.
Kyle, how much of Game 1 is sort of a feeling out for both teams, seeing how the other one coverage is and all?
Definitely a good feeler of a game, but we came out just played our type of game, our brand of basketball defensively, and we didn't even play our best basketball defensively, I think. But it's a filler out. Every now they'll make adjustments, we'll make more adjustments, and that's why it's a great thing about the playoffs and the series. It's more than one game, and all we did was do what we were supposed to do and protect home tonight, and we got to look at the film, see where we can continue to get better, and get back at it.
What needed tightening up when JJ got hot there, and what was some of the adjustments?
Got hot, flare, transition. I fell on one, missed coverage on one for me, and then I think the fifth one, I don't know. But he had a 2-point in transition. You got to stay tight in. You got to stay locked in on a guy like them. He's never going to stop shooting. I mean, he was 0 for 4 and then finished 5 for 12. But that's just the type of basketball player he is. He's that talented. He's been probably a great shooter since he was born type of person. So you got to stay locked in.
You must be running out of nice things to say about Pascal, but it seems like the bigger the moment, the better he's getting.
There's never enough nice things to say about a guy that you really appreciate and that you care for, you've seen for. He's just unbelievable. He's just growing, man. It's just the talent is there. He's fantastically just understanding how to play, and his confidence level is just keeping getting better, bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's not very often that you win a game with only 2 scorers in double figures. Does it say, or what does it say about what Pascal and Kawhi were able to do tonight?
They were unbelievable offensively, and defensive. They were good, and we're a type of team that everybody can step up, and those 2 guys are our options right now. And Kawhi was just in the zone, and he probably could have had more, but he facilitated some and made some shots. Pascal could have probably had more, but we're just a good team that don't care who has the success. We just want our team to be successful.
What do you think of the pace? Did you kind of get what you wanted? Do you think there's more?
I think we can do more, but we got to look at the film and see where we at. I mean, honestly, this game just ended, so I'll sit down tomorrow and tonight and watch some film on the iPad and see where we can get better and see where things, where we had some breakdowns.
You said about the solid covering.
Mark's a great basketball. He's a former Defensive Player of the Year. He's always one of the guys that could be a top all league defender. He's a rarity in this league, and I just appreciate that he's on our side.
What's your mentality when people still try to post you up?
Just do what I got to do to not let them score. Hey guys.
So, Kawhi Leonard, career high 45 points. Career playoff high, 45 points, second most in Toronto franchise history behind Vince Carter, who dropped 50 back in 2001. And we saw what Kevin Durant did the other night. Okay, 38 points in the first half for the Golden State Warriors. And he's been having some incredible performances recently in the playoffs. And for a guy like Kawhi Leonard, it's just good to see, or interesting to see, that kind of performance following Durant. Yeah,
it really is, because if you're a fan of the game of basketball and superstar players, and obviously a two-way guy, just scoring at that clip and then defending on the opposing end also, it's just remarkable to watch. And he came out here, and since the urgency was there from the beginning, you could tell that they followed his lead, him and Siakam, and they really wanted this first game at home, and they're trying to continue to trend in the right direction. So game 1 goes to them. And, let's see what adjustments are made from the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, so Kawhi's not a volume guy, right? But he took 9 shots in the first half, 6 for 8 from the mid-range. He seemed to get comfortable in that spot early and often.
Yeah, Kawhi takes shots that, the easy shots. He takes what's given there. Like, he looks at the defense. If it's an open three, he'll take it. Or he'll decide, I'm going to just take it as far as I can. Like, this one's a three, shot clock's running down. Okay, I'll take that. Then he's going to say, okay, I'll just go to the hole. Ben, get that fly paper off me, get off me. I'm going to finish it here. And he takes whatever the defense gets. It doesn't look like he ever forces a shot. It just, he reads the situation. I got a switch, got Joel Embiid. I'm going to take my time. Then I got Ben on me. A shot fake, I'll just step through. It's effortless basketball for him. He's not overworking the game. He's just sort of letting the game come to him. Right here, okay, I got time.
And this is the one you pointed out, Karan, where he sees Jimmy Butler and he's like, oh, I want this, and he created a shot for someone else.
Man, look, this is cold-blooded right here for so many reasons because he recognized that he had a switch. He ended up extending him back out and then drove the ball